All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect, and I'm telling you guys, you are about to get the strap, because right here, right now, we got the one, the only, the king of the underground. We got Little Strap on the line. How are you doing this evening?
What's poppin', man? King of the underground. I like the way you said that, man. I'm the king of this independent shit, man. I got this shit on lock. Ain't nobody seeing me, man.
Hey, man, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, I mean, we're gonna get into your stuff here tonight, man. But let's just say, man, you've done some amazing collaborations, man. So that right there warrants the name King of the Independent and King of the Underground.
I sincerely appreciate it, man. You know what I'm saying? I never thought of it like that, man. But, you know, when I collaborate with people, man, you know, these people, I look at it like, you know, they're just my peers or whatnot. But, you know, to other people around the world, they're like, you know, hip-hop heavyweights or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And when I stand next to these people, it's like, wow. Like, I'm actually standing next to the people who I grew up listening to or whatnot. And now I'm collaborating with them. So it's a blessing.
And I gotta ask you, man, like, taking you back to the beginning, man, like, what actually inspired you and made you decide to get into the music industry?
Music runs in my family. Music runs in my family. My pops, my grandfather, God bless his soul, he was in the gospel group or whatnot, and then, you know, it runs in the family. And well, first and foremost, you know, it's a gift that God gave me, and you know, I can't waste that gift. When God gives you a gift, you're supposed to use it. And secondly, you know, music runs in my family or whatnot, so somebody had to carry the torch, and I didn't want to let my grandfather down, my pops down. So, you know, I went ahead and lit the torch, and I've been carrying it ever since in my family. I mean, there's plenty of people in my family that has the ability to do music, but right now I'm the only one that's carrying the torch and keeping my family name alive.
And I gotta say, man, when you brought up how your grandfather was in the gospel, did you ever decide or like want to get into that side of the music industry and actually be a gospel singer, or were you just strictly going down the hip hop road?
I mean, I actually did. I dabbed in the gospel, but whatnot. I was in a male chorus for like 3 years. I actually wrote my first gospel song on "Dear Lord." That's actually on the album "Down with the King." That's out right now on SoundCloud or whatnot, where I'm talking to God and having a conversation with God or whatnot. That's my first gospel, you know, song I ever wrote. But you know, most definitely, I did. You know, I was in a choir or whatnot in the male chorus for 3 years. I grew up in the church or whatnot. So, you know, growing up, I participated in the choir where they had women and children and grown men and grown women in the choir or whatnot. So it was always a part of me. But, you know, hip-hop pretty much took over or whatnot, you know.
And also, you are the CEO as well of the Never Give Up Foundation. I was wondering, can you tell us a bit more about that foundation and what exactly do you guys actually do charity-wise?
The Never Give Up Foundation, I founded it in 2012. All we do is we go around, we feed the homeless, we feed women, children, and men, and we pass out blankets and pillows or whatnot to people who are on the streets, because the homeless rate here in Atlanta, Georgia, is ridiculous. Georgia has too much money for people to be homeless out here. And, you know, if they can build a $1 billion stadium that I currently work at, and I'm not complaining about it, they can help the homeless. So we pray for the people that give them hope that, you know, it's never too late to get back on your feet, and we just give back to the people who are in need. And that's what the Never Give Up Foundation is about. And I started that back in 2012.
And I like what you said there as well, because that's pure facts. You know, if they can build a multi-million-dollar stadium, they can feed the homeless, man. You know. And I gotta say, I gotta ask as well, people around the world, because as we know, like, this radio station is worldwide, right? So how can individuals go about donating to that foundation? Because I really think, you know, feeding the homeless is most definitely a great organization just to actually donate money to. So how would the individuals around the world go about donating money to the Never Give Up Foundation?
You can just go to my Never Give Up Foundation website, www.nevergiveupfoundation.com, and there's a donation button. Just hit there. You know, I don't do the cash apps, and it don't come to my pocket. It goes to theirs, and they go to the website, and we take the money and we take it to the people.
And the one thing I noticed as well on Facebook is that you were actually in the All Eyez on Me movie in the House of Blues scene. I was wondering, man, how did that movie role come to be for you, and what was it like just being a part of that film, man? Because that film was off the hook.
I want to shout out to my homegirl, Angel. Angel told me about it. She gave me a link to it or whatnot, and I heard it. First of all, you know, much love to her. she gave me a link to it, and I already heard they had been shooting in Douglasville, Georgia, the scene where Tupac was in prison or whatnot, and my homeboy Blue Da Vinci from BMF got stabbed. I took some power. They shot that in Douglasville, Georgia. It's like a second home to me, where my son stays at. And shout out to my son Malik. And Angel was like, I think you should give it a shot. So I reached out and put in my pictures or whatnot. They said they was looking for a Tupac entourage. I was like, well, I want to be a part of this entourage. So they looking for a certain look or whatnot, like thugged out, 90s or whatever. And I took some headshots. I sent it in, and I got booked immediately. And they booked me for the 1996 4th of July scene at the House of Blues, which was Tupac's last concert. They booked me for the Juice premiere. They booked me for the Digital Underground premiere, and they also booked me for the Quad Studios scene, but we didn't get to shoot that one or whatnot because of delay.
That's really cool, man. So you actually had quite a bit of you were in that movie quite a bit, man. I gotta say, I remember actually driving to another city just to catch the premiere of that movie in the movie theater, man. Because in our hometown theater, they didn't play the movie, so me and my wife, we drove about an hour and a half just to see that movie on the premiere day. And I gotta say, it was definitely worth the drive, man. It was phenomenal. A lot of people have their say about it, but I think for Demetrius, he did a phenomenal job as Tupac, man. I couldn't picture anybody else playing him.
Shout out to Demetrius. I had a chance to meet him, man. He's a real cool dude. He's a real dope actor. But being a part of that movie was all part of God's plan or whatnot. Because anybody who knows me know Tupac is my rap hero or whatnot, and that's where the influence came from. And for me to be a part of that movie was just it's a part of my history now. It's up under the history belts or whatnot.
So as well, one thing I got to ask you pertaining to that movie, did you also have the opportunity to chop it up with Idi Amin and Young Noble? Because for individuals that don't know, those two actually played themselves in the movie.
Idi Amin, but not Young Noble. Young Noble's a little bit, distant. But Idi Amin was hands-on with the cast or whatnot. And I was coming out of the trailer and we was getting filmed. We was getting dressed for the Juice scene, the Juice premiere. And I come out the trailer, he come out the trailer at the same time. It was crazy. And I said, Edie done, and he looked, and he embraced me. He was like, yo, welcome aboard, and whatnot. I was like, yo, this is a dream come true to be a part of, somebody who I consider, again, he's my rap hero, There's somebody who I studied and, who I pretty much, Tupac was like a project that you, in school, that you had to do and do your homework on or whatnot and pass the test or whatnot. And it was Idi Amin who I met, and very cool dude. But me and Young Noble, we do talk often on Instagram. We do talk often. Whenever I tag his name or hit him up, he hit right back. So shout out to Young Noble and shout out to Idi Amin. I know both of them brothers personally.
And also, when we're still on the topic of the Outlaws as well, you were actually featured on Sean Nutso Cole's album, Machiavelli Rada's Worldwide Loyalty Volume 1. I have to ask you, how did you yourself and Nutso get connected? And of course, what was it like working on that project with him?
Well, Nutso has been a good friend of mine for years now. And how that happened is, when Funk Master Flex went on his rant, dissing Tupac around the time that the movie was coming out, saying that, calling Tupac Cheddar Bob or whatnot, and saying Tupac shot himself and he lied or whatnot, and just dissing Tupac. And Tupac is not here to defend himself. Nutso stood up and said, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to shoot, not shoot, but we're going to record an album or whatnot, Machiavelli Riders, Part 1, and, whatever y'all want to say, whatever y'all want to do, just record it, send it to me or whatnot. And I already had a Funkmaster Flex diss song ready because, once he did that, I was like, okay, enough is enough. This ain't the first time that this cat done diss Tupac on so many levels, and this man is not here. The first time he did it, the Outlaw spazzed on him or whatnot. This the second time he did it, so we say, okay, we just going to do it worldwide. So if anybody who has something to say to Funkmaster Flex and for hip-hop or whatever you want to do, then do that. And so I was the first one to hit on. So I got a video and a song aimed at that dude because I'm sick of that cat, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude here is just disrespecting dead or whatnot. So asked me to send the song. I sent the song and the video, and he didn't charge me not one dime to be on that album. And that's how that happened. My song is number 2 on that album, Machiavelli Riders Part 1.
And I gotta say, man, I gotta say good for you for actually making that song, man, because Funk Master Flex, you know what I mean? He shouldn't be talking anything like that, because at the end of the day, man, Tupac will always be a better artist than he ever will be. And I think that's what it is, man. I think the fact that he's alive and he's still not even close to being a sliver as big bothers him. That Tupac can be gone for almost 20 plus years and still be the biggest thing within hip hop. And I think that pisses him off.
And I think that, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, man. You know, Tupac, when Tupac was here, Funkmaster Flex was like the biggest DJ in the world. You had a chance to, whatever you wanted to say to Tupac, you had the chance to say it to his face when he was here. So why you wait till he's dead to diss the man? So with that being said, fuck Funkmaster Flex. We still on his neck because he dissed my man T.I. down here in Atlanta. You know, T.I. haven't said nothing back, but I stepped up because I said it's my duty. If you're going to come at anybody in Atlanta, it's my duty to step up and protect my people here in Atlanta, Georgia, especially my hip-hop artists or anyone. It is my duty to step up and speak for the people, you know, who choose not to speak up, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that T.I. is scary or whatnot, but he chose to take the high road, but not me. The hell with Funkmaster Flex, and fuck that dude, man.
Hey, I mean, I most definitely agree. And I gotta say, T.I. would destroy him anyways, man. You know what I mean? T.I.'s a phenomenal artist, man.
Right, and we're in the middle of a pandemic, man. You dissing my man Tip, man. Nah, we're not doing that. So I still got my foot on his neck.
I gotta be honest, man. I've been a fan of T.I. for a long time, man. I don't care what anyone says. The song he did with Justin Timberlake, you know, Dead and Gone, is still and always will be my jam, bro. That song's fucking phenomenal. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Shout out to Tip and shout out to Killer Mike, man. Both of them brothers are doing some very phenomenal things down here in Atlanta. We just turned Georgia blue. You know, we doing some very. He's doing Killer Mike and T.I. are doing some very game-changing things down here in Georgia and just helping the people and helping the community. So shout out to both of them brothers.
And also, you have an album out as well titled 1984. I was wondering, what's the inspiration behind that phenomenal record? And of course, where can our listeners actually buy themselves some copies?
You can go get it from SoundCloud as we speak right now. 1984 came out 2 years ago on my mom's birthday. And 1984, that's the year I was born. And that's like my Machiavelli. You know, Machiavelli was a dark album. And I studied Machiavelli from top to bottom, from 1 to 12. So I went in the studio, and that's everything that I wanted to get off my chest towards anybody that I had issues with or was in beef with. Not an issue, a beef. I welcomed it and said, I'm here. However you want to do it, let's do it. And I got a lot of stuff off my chest. Like, that's a very dark album. So 1984 is just, if you look at the cover, it's like the ending of Menace to Society, where, you know, Kane get murdered or whatnot. And that right there was self-explanatory. It's like, this is what I'm on right now. I'm sick of the bullshit. However how y'all want to do it, however how y'all want to bring it, this is how I'm coming. And you can't interrupt me when we're having a conversation. I mean, you can't interrupt me when that music is playing. You can interrupt me when we're having a conversation across the table. But when that record is playing, you can't interrupt me. You're going to do two things. You can listen to it, or you can stop it and, you know, you don't have to listen to it. But 1984 was like one of my best albums. 1984 is one of my best albums.
And I have to ask you as well, man, do you have any hard copies available of that record? Because I do know a lot of the Outlaw Radio FM listeners love that hard copy substance, man.
Absolutely. I sure do. I have a lot of copies. I have a stack full of copies of 1984. I sure do.
And how would they go about getting them? Do they have to go to your website, or can they hit you up directly?
They can hit me up directly, and I will send it to them personally. They hit me up directly, hit me up, and I will send it to them personally. Whoever wants a copy of 1984, and I'm about to get a copy, or I'm about to get over 1,000 copies of King Strap, Down with the King, the album that's out now. It came out September the 13th of this year. I'm about to get hard copies of that. So if you want hard copies of Down with the King or 1984, hit me up directly, and I will mail it to you personally, myself.
And also, your latest album release, like you said, was actually in September, which is actually titled "Down with the King." I was wondering what's the story behind that phenomenal record? Because I was listening to that. I was listening to that on your SoundCloud, and I have to say, man, it is phenomenal, man. I really, really do love the content within that record.
Down with the King is just doing another paying homage to the brothers who was hit, to the ones who paved the way for me to be here to do what I do today. Down with the King is down with being with God. Down with the King is paying homage to Ron DMC. Down with the King is paying homage to all the ones who I looked up to, who paved the way to me, for me to be here, who made the blueprint for this platform that we call hip hop, not rap, hip hop. And I just pay, it's pretty much just this is a thank you to them. Even though I have some personal songs on there for myself, where I pretty much go deep into my life, it's still a thank you to hip hop and the ones who paved the way for me. And I had to, I did that in the midst of a pandemic. I had nothing else to do, and I was like, well, you know what? Might as well do. I was done after 1984. I was done with music. I was done. Like I didn't, because it got bored. Like music got bored, but after a while, I picked up the pen and I was like, well, I'm back at it because I was like, okay, music is boring right now, and let me get back out here.
And also, directly after this interview, I'm going to be playing one of your newest tracks featuring Pastor Troy, titled "Back to the Streets." But first and foremost, have to ask you, man, what's the story behind that song? That way, our listeners can wrap their head around the meaning a little bit more. And of course, how did yourself and Troy get connected?
Me and Pastor Troy have been good friends since 2011. I've been knowing Pastor Troy for a long time, for a while, and we've been talking about collaborating for years. Every time Pastor Troy had an engagement, whether it was a movie premiere or an album release party, I was there. I would show my face. Anytime he had an album out or whatever, and he would be passing out CDs or whatnot, he's a hands-on person. Much love to Pastor Troy. He's very hands-on, who I just seen this past Tuesday. And he made a video in the midst of the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery and Rayshard Brooks murders for police brutality. And they tore up the city down here in downtown Atlanta. We riot down here. And in the midst of that riot, in the midst of the protesting, Pastor Troy shot a video in the middle of the protest, in the middle of them, tearing up the city or whatnot, our city or whatnot, because he's from here. And in the middle of a peaceful protest, slightly kind of rioting, he shot a video in the middle of that. And I was inspired by that, and I just hit him up. I had his personal phone number or whatnot, and I was like, okay. After George Floyd, that was it. I wanted to make NWA Police Part 2. But I called it Back to the Streets, but that's what my head was. And I said, well, Pastor Troy is on the same thing I'm on. So I hit him up and told him the concept. And he did the hook, and I laid my verse, and that was it.
Yeah, I gotta say as well, man, that George Floyd stuff was absolute bullshit. I really that was like completely uncalled for, man. And you know what? I really don't blame the black community for doing what they did, man. I'm glad that police station got burnt down, man. I just wish I was there so I could piss on the ashes.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And that was the first time where, all 50 states came together, all race. It didn't matter if you were black, white, Hispanic. It didn't matter what color you were. We all came together and unite. And I ain't never seen nothing like that in my day of my life. But, it took for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and Rayshard Brooks murders to happen, back to back to back, for us just to come together and say, fuck this, man. We all in this together. We're all in it together. And, defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the motherfuckers, And that's how Back to the Streets came about, just sick and tired, because we're tired. We're tired of marching. We're tired of protesting. It's time to take action. And that's how me and Pastor Troy feel.
And I have to ask you, Strap, what is next for you? Did I miss anything during this interview? Anything else you want to talk about and still promote while we still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
Well, right now, I said I was done again. We're down with the King. I have a new video coming out right now. Well, video right now, King Strap is out right now. You can go look at that on my Facebook page or my Instagram. I'm shooting another video called Dear Lord, where I talk about my personal life, where I dig deep down into my personal life and give you of what I went through in the past years. And I'm putting out another single called Black Love, where it's so much hatred in this world right now. We're in the midst of a pandemic, so I want to put out. So I'm doing something different, and I want to put out some love out there. So I'm shooting two brand new videos coming up real soon. Black Love, Dear Lord, which I'm going to send to you next week to put on the airways or whatnot. And I'm dropping a new EP called Hip Hop Heavyweights. And this is the first time for me saying this, so you're the first to hear it, and the people in Canada hear it first. Hip Hop Heavyweight, the EP is on the way. Hip Hop Heavyweight.
Hey man, I like the sounds. I gotta ask you quickly, man, pertaining to Hip Hop Heavyweights. And I know you probably can't let too many cats out of the bag because it's still probably in production. But when I hear Hip Hop Heavyweights, I hear, like, you know what I mean, a shitload of big features. Is that correct?
Most definitely. I can't let it cat out of the bag, but it's most definitely going to be some features on here. It's already confirmed.
Hey, man, most definitely, man. Let me know when that drops as well, man, because I most definitely will snag myself a copy, man. I love the word heavyweights within hip-hop because there's always something good that comes out of that. Like, actually, not something, a lot of things good that comes out of that word within hip-hop.
And the reason why I said, because again, I'm paying homage, and I am a heavyweight in this hip hop underground independent shit down here, man. I've been in this thing for 10 years, and I've been successful. And I want to shout out to everyone who supports me, and I want to shout out to everyone who don't support me because, this is you put the drive in my back to get back in the lab and, do something different. And I am a heavyweight in this independent hip hop scene down here in Atlanta. You can't deny me. I'm here. I stamp my name. And before the interview ends, I want to shout out Corrupt, who is up next. Another hip hop giant heavyweight in this hip hop industry. I love that brother. He's another person who paved the way for me to be where I'm at right now. So I just want to say much love to Corrupt Gotti. What's up? I love you, my brother. And I will be listening to the interview next.
Hey, man, I appreciate you as well, man. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, man. I got a gang of good questions for Corrupt. I'm telling you, man, for yourself and Corrupt, it was hard for me to do these interviews because you guys have so much information that I was really sitting back being like, what am I going to ask? Because you can't ask everything, you know what I mean? But I think I got some good questions for both interviews, man. So I got to first and foremost say, man, that this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual just to give their social media handles and whatnot. That way, individuals can follow you and stay updated on everything Little Strap if they're not already doing so.
And I appreciate you putting me on this platform, man. I want to say, Mama, I made it to Canada. My music is in Canada. I never thought I'd see this day in my life, man. But I made it to Canada. And I just want to say I appreciate you for allowing me to be on your platform. And, I feel like I made it. I feel like I made it. Like I said, I'm a heavyweight in this independent hip-hop industry. Much love and shout-out to all my people, my mom, my brothers, my son, much love to them and everyone who supports me. And, I just want to thank you and much love. And first and foremost, thank God, because if it wasn't for God, none of this would be here. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. But thank God for the gift and everything He's done for me, and thank God for the things that's coming in the future. In the midst of a pandemic, I'm prospering in the midst of a pandemic. That's where I'm at in life.
And I have to say, man, you are most certainly welcome, man. You are a very, very talented individual, and I just got to say thank you so much for coming on my platform and sharing your story, man. You are definitely a heavyweight, not only within your city of Atlanta, but most definitely worldwide within hip-hop, man. So, you know what, man? You always got a home here on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. But I got to say, for now, man, happy holidays to you and yours, and most definitely have yourself a wonderful night.
All right, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays, man.
Most definitely, man. Have yourself a wonderful night. We most definitely shall talk soon.
All right, yeah.